Rays postgame show rolls on. Just one more day of Rays baseball, and then you're thinking, what am I going to do until the baseball season starts again? Well, you can do what I always do, which is grab Ken Burns' baseball special and look at the history of our great game. I'll watch a little bit of the Baseball Network and then try to figure out what to do until we get down to Port Charlotte. One other idea is I had an opportunity to go over and visit the folks at the Tampa Bay History Center in Tampa and find out a little bit about something. Maybe I'll do something cultural during the off season. Heaven forbid I try to make myself a little bit smarter. But Rodney Kite-Powell is joining us right now from the Tampa Bay History Center. I came over, got a chance to look at their sports exhibits. So if you're looking for something to do with the kids now that baseball season's over, nice idea, maybe go over and check out the museum. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about what we could see, what we could experience, what we could touch, what we could feel. I like the museum because it's not one of those, I'm just going to look and see everything behind glass and not be able to touch things.
Well, it's very true. We are definitely not a hands-off museum, although we're not a true hands-on museum like a lot of children's museums, but we're not your traditional museum either. We have 3 different floors of exhibit space. The first floor is a little more academic in nature, but it also has 2 really wonderful films that you can see. Again, they're fairly interactive themselves. You can learn about the European exploration. You can learn about the cigar industry. You can learn about the Seminoles and the impact the Seminoles have had on the area. Then you go to the second floor, which is definitely interactive and very much hands-on, and that's where you see, among other things, our sports area.
Well, let's wait. We'll go back to that because, again, we're going to expand our minds now that the baseball season's winding down. You can brand a cow. You can row a boat. You can do all kinds of different things.
You could make your own citrus label. You can really go back in time, obviously. You can see old footage of Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders on a little Nickelodeon. You can kind of have a whole play table experience of what it's like to work under the port of Tampa. And you can ride along in a cattle drive. There's all kinds of wonderful things you can do.
Now, when I walk in, I look at some of the icons of the Bay Area. Babe Ruth is, lo and behold, the biggest thing you see as you get off the escalator, come up to the second floor. What does Babe Ruth have to do, for those that are new to the area? What does Babe Ruth have to do with the history of Tampa, the Bay Area, and St. Petersburg?
That's a great question because people do ask that exact question often. A lot of people don't know that Babe Ruth, of course, was a member of the Yankees for a long time, but he's also a member of the Red Sox before that. And in 1919, the Red Sox had their spring training here in Tampa. And April 4th, 1919, Babe Ruth hit what we think is the longest home run of his career, well over 600 feet. And it was at the baseball stadium that's what's now University of Tampa. And because he is such an icon, and because that home run's iconic, and because it's such a part of our history, that we wanted to include something like that, really the first thing you see when you walk in the atrium.
Over Crescent Lake, an alligator chased him.
I've heard that story. There's a lot of great stories about Babe Ruth.
Let me ask you this, as a museum curator, how mad would you get if I went and touched some of the stuff? I went to Cooperstown once, and they gave me a private tour. They took me down in the bowels of Cooperstown where they keep all the really cool stuff that's not on display, and Babe Ruth's cleat was standing there. And I said, hey, can I touch this? And before the curator could say, no, don't touch that, I put my finger on it, touched it. As he gasped and recoiled, I thought, oh, my gosh, I must have done something really bad.
Yeah, generally for artifacts like that, it's not the best thing to do is handle them. We have a lot of, even if our hands are clean, there's acid in the hands and things like that. But for you, Rich, we can give you a little extra special hands-on tour with white gloves, of course.
There you go. All right, we're talking about the Tampa Bay History Center, which is, again, over in Tampa. The best way to describe it is it's between Channelside and between the St. Pete Times Forum, right across the street from the Forum, over towards where all the cruise ship goes, over Channelside. It's really neat. So, folks, if you get a chance to come over and spend some time, it's something that you could do with the kids. It's something you could do in the afternoon. What are the hours of operation?
Well, we're open 10 to 5, 7 days a week.
10 to 5, 7 days a week. Again, you can come by, check them out. Now, if you're coming to the ball game tomorrow, up on Ray's Vision before the ball game, you can see a commercial that'll a little announcement that'll have a lot about the new exhibits they have over here. Plus, somebody is going to win a lucky road during Fandemonium and get passes to come over and see this fabulous, fabulous museum.
Yep, no, we hope everybody comes on down, and if you've done Lucky Row, you can get tickets. If not, it's not too expensive to come in here anyway, and I want you all to come into the museum and enjoy yourselves.
Don't touch any of the expensive artifacts, any of the really old stuff. Like, I would probably get in trouble if I touched what was a 5-million-year-old canoe?
Yeah, we have a 5,000-year-old canoe in the first floor, and Rich, you can't hop in that and try and row across the bay back to the trop.
All right, I won't do that, but you can come out and see a lot of great stuff, including things from the Rays and the World Series run from last year. Thank you so much for having us out here. I hope I didn't break anything, and I left the museum in one piece.
Nope, you're a great museum visitor. Hope to have you back soon.
All right, we'll continue with you. Just one more game for the Rays tomorrow against the New York Yankees. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more coming up here on the Rays Baseball Network.